This review is for the Heaven's Perspective storytelling service. And if you've read the book or seen the book, this book has 17 stories where we rewrote people's most painful experiences from Heaven's perspective. And the story rewriting service is you can sign up, and when you do, you'll get an interview, a 1-hour interview with one of our trained story writers, and they'll ask you questions about a certain season or major event in your life. We prefer to look at ones that are painful or difficult or where you don't understand what God was doing. And a week later, after the interview, we'll send you your story rewritten from Heaven's perspective. And it comes in a leather-looking journal with an embossed cover and journaling questions that you can use to unpack the story and what you heard. And we also include with it a custom-made worship CD. So it has 3 songs to sort of get you into God's presence, and then instrumental soaking worship music that you listen to while you read your story and meditate on it. So we're trying to create a whole experience for you. But let me tell you a little bit about what does it mean to have your story rewritten from Heaven's perspective. Well, the idea of Heaven's perspective is that when you look at yourself, you see yourself through the lens of your perceived sins, your shortcomings, things in life you don't understand, adverse circumstances, wounds that you have. All those things shape your perspective of yourself. But when you look through Jesus' eyes, you see the true you. In fact, Scripture says that we're seated with Christ at the right hand of God. And if you understand how heaven's time works, you're actually standing there with Jesus in heaven, right in his now. He doesn't have to look at you and sort of forget about the bad things you did. He doesn't have to look at you and overlook your negative qualities, because Jesus in his eternal now sees you in your glorified self. So when you rewrite your story from Heaven's perspective, it's how your story looks like from heaven and in heaven. So for instance, heaven has this wonderful quality of being able to make all things well. So in heaven, betrayals get put back together, and often through shared destiny. In heaven, you find out how your life is intertwined with those of other people. And one of the stories in the book is about a woman who, she was involved in an accident where someone lost a limb, and the next week her pastor preached that if bad things happen to you, it's because of sin in your life, and you're not going to heaven. So she, as a teenager, felt like she lost her salvation because she was involved in this accident. And 40 years later, she and this pastor reconnected. And there's a beautiful story about how their lives were intertwined by that early thing. And in heaven, that they're seen as going together, and their prayers affect each other, even if they weren't even thinking about each other, because their lives are twined in heaven. So you get this incredible perspective from heaven. Time is different. God looks at you completely different through the eyes of goodness. You see redemption when you look from heaven's perspective, because in heaven's perspective, you see the whole story. You don't just see the moment that you're in, or the moment you're in your past. Heaven sees how it turns out. And so in these stories, you start to get a picture of what God was doing in your difficult circumstances, how he was showing up, and how he's going to make it turn out well in the end. And I think it's really powerful. So the Heaven's Perspective story rewrite, you go to heavensperspective.com, or you may be here already. All you have to do is sign up for a story. You can also give a story, which is kind of cool. Imagine for a friend who's in a difficult season, or someone who's stuck, or someone who's experienced loss or betrayal or grief and is having a hard time going over it. What a wonderful gift to give them a story. So you go to the website, you sign up for it, you schedule your interview with the story writer, and we take it all from there. We also offer a money-back guarantee. If for any reason you're not satisfied with your story, we'll give you your money back. because we believe in what we're doing and believe that God is speaking through this and that it's really powerful. So we look forward to rewriting your story at heavensperspective.com.